A man may appeal a local board's decision to a selective service district appeal board. If the appeal board also denies his claim but the vote is not unanimous, he may further appeal the decision to a national appeal board. Who qualifies? How long is this? We're almost done. Alright, cool. Beliefs which qualify a registrant for CO status may be religious in nature but don't have to be. Beliefs may be moral or ethical. However, a man's reason for not wanting to participate in a war must not be based on politics, expediently, or self interest. In general, the man's lifestyle prior to making his claim must reflect his current claims. So, guys, that's key too. If you're like a passive person, that's what's really going to allow you to get to qualify for this. All right, you would have had to have been a passive person prior to. If you were a person that has a history of violence and got into the military maybe for that reason, and now you want to object to what they're doing, odds are you will not qualify. Service as a conscious objector. Two types of services are available to conscious objectors, and the type of assigned is determined by the individual's specific beliefs. The person who is opposed to any form of military service will be assigned to an alternative service described below. The person whose beliefs allow him to serve in the military but not in non-combatant capacity will serve in the armed forces but will not be assigned training or duties that include using weapons. Personally, I'm against this right here. Honestly, you shouldn't even join the military, in my opinion, but I'm against this right here. And there's a good reason why. I'll come back to. Actually, no, I'll come back to that. Alternative service. Conscious objectors opposed to serving in the military will be placed in the Selective Service Alternative Service Program. This program attempts to match COs with local employers. Many types of jobs are available. However, the job must be deemed to make a meaningful contribution to the maintenance of a national health, safety, and interest. Examples of alternative services are jobs in conservation, caring for the young or very old, education, healthcare. Length of length of service in program will equal the amount of time a man would have served in the military, usually 24 months. So, here's my argument on this. The person whose belief allows him to serve in the military but not in non-combatant capacity will serve in armed forces but will not be assigned to training or duties that include using weapons. So, here's my argument against something like this. If you're a passive person and you're in the military and you, for whatever reason, let's say we're in this situation. All right, U.S. is going to send troops to bomb another country. The person who fuels the jet, in my opinion, is also guilty. That's just the reality of it, right? That's being complicit. They know exactly what that jet's going to go and do, and they fueled it up to go and do it. Right? Am I wrong? I'm just saying, guys, like, the argument of, oh, you know what, you can be a conscious objector. You won't be operating any, like, military weapons, which means you just won't be pulling the trigger. But you are going to be complicit in the assistance in killing those people over there. So even though you're passive, you're still doing something actively violent. It's almost like if you're playing a basketball game, right? You're a benched player, you get into the game, right? Your only job is to get move the ball around enough so that way your point guard can shoot the ball, right? So the ball comes to you and you assist the point guard in shooting, right? That's the way I'm looking at it right now. It's a little bit simplistic, but at the same time, I think it serves pretty well in this analogy. But yeah, for me, I'm against that. Honestly, I would recommend to anybody not to join the military just based off of the information that I know now. We do not treat our military the way that America should. But if you are in the military and you consider yourself to be a passive individual, this may save your life. All right, and if you have family members in the military, this potentially could save their lives, so they may not be deployed into an active war zone. All right, guys. So, like I said, I just wanted to go over that last thing real quick with all y'all because I feel like it's very important that as we move forward into these trying times, we are looking out for one another. For me, if you support the military, you don't want the military to go into a war zone. You know, that's just the way I'm looking at it too. Is that like if I had a loved one that was going into a war zone, I might not see them again. How is that supporting the troops? How is that supporting that individual? I want that individual to grow and see everything that they have the potential to see in their lives. And I don't want their lives to get cut short because they went to war. That's not beneficial for them. So, guys, thank you for listening to my rants today. All right, I'll be back tomorrow morning in the morning. Okay, I'm gonna try to get myself, together nice and early. Hopefully, we can start whew, it's 11 o'clock or almost midnight right now. Hopefully, I can start I'm gonna try for 8 o'clock, guys. I'm not even gonna get a full night's rest. I'm gonna try for 8 o'clock. And we'll go for hopefully 8 hours, all right? But yeah, I'll see y'all tomorrow morning. I love y'all. Peace.